Call to the Manager of Opposition Business.
Thanks, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Prime Minister. Will the Prime Minister rule out appointing his close friend Alan Joyce as CEO of the new Albo Air?
Order. Order. Yeah, I didn't hear. If members on my right, I just didn't hear the end part of the question. I heard about Mr Joyce. Order. Order. Members on my left, I just want to make sure we get this right. We'll do this in an orderly way. Every member is entitled to ask the question of their choice. The Leader of the House on a point of order.
Mr Speaker, the question is simply out of order. It's as simple as that. It makes a question has to refer to ministerial responsibilities. Yeah. The tag at the end, I respect that you didn't hear it, but it would be to repeat an abuse. The member knows full well that he was asking that question for the purpose of getting up a grab. He knows he was not referring to a government agency. The question's completely out of order.
Look, can I just make sure and to ask the manager's assistance, just to make sure the question was within standing orders and the responsibility of the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister is happy to answer the question. Okay. The Leader, I said we would do this in an orderly way. You don't need to jump down my throat. We're just going to deal with one situation at a time. Order. The Minister for Regional Development is warned. Prime Minister has the call.
Thanks, Mr Speaker. Having seen the mess that the previous people who were operating Rex Airlines, who have close links with a political party, not ours, in having delusions of grandeur, being given by the former government $150 million untied of taxpayers' money during the pandemic, on top of JobKeeper, who chose, rather than fix up the Saab aircraft, who chose, with delusions of grandeur, to buy or lease big aircraft to try and compete on Sydney to Melbourne route, and drove an airline into the ground, following the following airlines that were grounded under the former government: Pacific Express, JetGo, Skytrans, Aero Pelican, Brindabella, Tiger and Virgin all went into either administration or fell apart. We fixed the problems that they created, and they come up with that sort of childishness. For, as we've said before, the only time Alan Joyce got to a Prime Minister's residence was under the former government, Scott Morrison. But that's the sort of nonsense, and that shows how seriously they take regional Australia. Let me name these towns: Ceduna, Moruya, Narrandera, Parkes, Coober Pedy, Esperance, Carnarvon, Winton and Mornington Highland. You know what they have in common? They would all be isolated from being able to get health care. They'd all be isolated from being able to get freight. They'd all be isolated from those small businesses being able to operate properly. And every one of them are being represented by those people over there. But they have this contempt for them that this clown asks a question like that, Mr Speaker. Well, here's what a serious member of the National Party had to say. If not for Rex, went on to say, they wouldn't be able to get doctors, nurses, vaccines and, most importantly, medication. People in those towns would also then not be able to make it to their capital city medical appointments. But it's more than just health, and we all know that. It's business, it's tourism, it's so many aspects of modern living. That is why he went on to say, I've raised the possibility of the federal government having an equity stake in Rex to ensure the airline's future. That's a real leader sitting down the end over there for the National Party. And you, sir, are not fit to represent a serious job in this parliament.